We will discuss a new lesson today. The name of the lesson is Colourful Shoes. This lesson is picture reading, which means you have pictures just like a comics type, and you will enjoy this chapter. Okay, children, now let's get started the lesson. So, here is the first scene, children. The scene is the class teacher is saying something to the students here. He said, "Girls, I have some good news for you inside this envelope." So, he's carrying a message and is ready to share that message to the children. The class teacher's name is Mr. Lewis. What is the message? Your PT teacher has asked me to give you this. Give this to your parent. Don't open it. He was instructing like this, kids, which means I am giving an envelope. You have to take this, which is given by your PE teacher, and you have to give this your parent. And you are not allowed to open it. So he said this message to the kids. Dad, quick, open this. Mr. Lewis says there is good news inside. Here, the one of the students, Jen, brought that letter from class teacher, and he came to home and gave that to his father. Okay, and she asked to open this. Here, she has more curiosity to know about the message. That's why she asked to his father like this. Say hello to me first, Jen. So the father replied to Jen, first, whenever you start conversation and you make some utterance, say good morning or hello, hi. We have to greet the second person, then only we can start the conversation. Okay, so the father replied to Jen, say hello to me first, Jen. Jen's father has received the letter from Jen. After received the letter, Jen's father has opened it and he started to read. So the message is, Jen's PT teacher is starting football lesson for the girls. Okay, it will be started next week. Jen's father has opened and read this message. When Jen was hearing this message, she was more exciting. And she said, "Wow, real football. I can score 15 goals." She replied like this. When Jen's father heard these words from Jen, he was very happy and he was encouraging Jen. And the school will lend you each ball to practice in evening, he said to Jen. And she was exciting, so she said, "Great." And she was more excitement, so that's why she was waiting for the next line. Now the father said, "Well, let me see, each child will need an old t-shirt, a pair of shorts and socks." Jen replied, "What about a jersey and shoes with studs? Can I have a real football strip?" Now in this letter, it also written that you, every child, you will need your own t-shirt, a pair of shorts and socks. And Jen is asking about her jersey and shoes with studs. Okay? You must have seen the jersey about in Indian players. Am I right, children? You have also seen about football players, right? So, in the envelope, what was written that? every child will need an old t shirt, a pair of shorts, and socks. That is the message inside the PT Master has written. While Jen's father was reading on, Jen begs a father. Okay, and next, no, sorry. Except for shoes, Mr. Lewis wants you all to have new shoes. We will go to the market tomorrow to look for a good pair. Jen replied, no, real football things? Here, Jen's father is explaining something. So, Mr. Lewis is wanting the children all to have new shoes. Okay, he asked to buy new shoes, all the children. And Jen's father said, we will go to the market tomorrow to look for a good pair. Okay, no real football things, she replied like this. And children, Jen was back in her room and she thought to herself, what was she thinking here? She was going to make sure dad buy football shoes and proper ones. Then she can score goals just the way FIFA heroes do. You know who are FIFA? FIFA is a football match. It is also like a cricket match and it's the most popular game in the world. Okay. So, like FIFA Hero, she wants to score goals just. The next day morning at the school, she was sharing the message to her friends. The message is she will be going to the market and she is going to buy new shoes with his father. Jen and her father went to the market. So when they were entering the market, the shoe seller was crying like this. Get your shoes here, running shoes, football shoes, for every sport, all sizes, all colors. He was crying like that. When they were crossing, the man said, cheap shoes here, red, green, yellow, they don't cost much. So he was telling like that. Jan replied to that seller, no thanks. I'm going to start football lessons next week. I'm buying real football shoes with studs, like the ones champions wear. She explained like this to the shoe seller. Jen and her father go to many big shoe shops. They try on many shoes, but none of them seem to fit right. Either the size was not right or they were very expensive. Because of that, they didn't buy anything from big shops. Finally, Jen's father realizes that they cannot afford shoes at the store. So Jen's father said, we will just have to get a pair of those colors shoes from that man we crossed some time ago. The colors are lovely. I'm sure you will like them better than these costly ones. When Jen was hearing this, she was very disappointed. She replied to her dad, oh, dad, but they don't have studs on the outsole. I'll never become a famous footballer. She was worrying like this to his father. Costly shoes don't make great footballer, Jen. Hard work and intelligence do. So he replied to her daughter like this. And finally, the shopkeeper said, welcome, sir. And ma'am, I knew you would come back. Nowhere in this entire world will you find shoes like you will find here. I have just the right pair for you. They are just the right kind to learn to kick a ball well. He was greeting Jen and his father to his shop like this. Now, Jen's friend Palm, Tessie, and Shirley wear the same kind of shoes and all they live on Back Street. Back Street is the place here, children. Jen's PE teacher is also encouraging those kids. What did he say? Five children in similar shoes. This must be record. He was telling the encouraging words like this. And children, as per the PE teacher's instructions, the kids were playing football well. And finally, the Backstreet Heroes win the match. After won the match, the PE teacher was encouraging all the kids and congratulating, and especially Jen. He encouraged Jen like this: the heroes are the champions. And Jen, you have already scored 5 goals. So, when Jen was hearing these words, she was so happy and she has more excitement. So after done everything, Jen cleans her new football shoes in her backyard. And she was telling to herself, I will become a FIFA hero. Yes, I will. She was telling to herself like this. So finally, it is concluded, children. From this story, we could understand that the things, the materials, the attracting materials does not matter. The only thing what matter, what Jen's father also told that only hard working and an intelligence are the matter. Am I right? So if you have hard work and intelligence, you can achieve something in your life. Okay, this is a message from this lesson. Okay, I hope you understood. And after understood this lesson, you will be a hard work and intelligent person, I hope. Thank you, kids.